Hey YouTube, this is Fitzroy bringing you another Duel School. Today we're going to be sitting down with a player whose deck consists of nothing but foil cards. Now find out if shelling out this much cash will bring him to a top 8 finish right after I finish my team profile with the leader of Team Kenshin South Division.
The first regional of the season, South Division. What deck did you plan on running this?
Well, originally I had actually planned on a Crystal Beast, Crystal Abundance OTK. It was good, but it wasn't consistent enough. Still needs some testing, but I do encourage people to check it out. It's nice. In the meantime, I went with everyone's favorite, the Monarch deck.
The Monarch deck. So
has some personal touches to it. There's some picks not everyone would have thought of, but there are things I think make the deck stronger.
You want to go over some of those?
Absolutely. First of all, I just want to look at the Monarch lineup.
Okay.
There's a single Mobius. Backfields can be a problem with Mirror Force Sakuretsu. I didn't anticipate it being so bad that I showed multiples, but one's good. 2 Zaborgs. Most people have shied away from Zaborg lately, but there's, the 3 DD Assailants, your Jinzos, your Apprentice Engine, all of that. Monster Destruction seemed like it would be a little more important now than it was last format. So
well, going back to the Mobius, you find yourself in situations where you actually wanted more Mobius in the deck?
No, not necessarily. I think the one was pretty optimal.
I see. Okay, continue.
You have your 3 Ryza, obviously, as everyone's playing. Ryza is, in most people's opinion, including mine, probably the best Monarch printed. It takes cards off the field, it makes their opponent waste a draw, it eliminates their answers.
Okay.
And then the single Jinzo, because people are playing traps, obviously, no matter what format it is, and Jinzo shuts that down.
Awesome. So, how useful did you find the Jinzo during the matches?
Absolutely. A lot of, I would say, at least half my matches, if not more, when I brought out Jinzo, my opponent looked at me and said, wow, I can't do anything about that.
I see.
So it worked out pretty well.
Can you go over some other, maybe key cards of the deck?
Absolutely. I mean, you have, obviously, your staples, your Cyber Dragon, Sphere Reaper, Treeborn, Magician, Koichi, Spies, Snipe Hunter, Sangan. I chose to run DD Warrior Lady. Some people would, some people wouldn't. I thought the extra monster move would come in handy, and it did.
Okay.
She was also pretty good as a beat stick. The one monster pick that I made that a lot of people either overlook or don't agree with is the Legendary Jiu-Jitsu Masters, which I ran 2 of today. The reason for that is its complete tempo control. One of the things that make Ryza so good is that it wastes the draw phase and gets a monster off the field. Especially a Tribute Monster, Jiu-Jitsu Master accomplishes the same thing. And almost every time I said it, my opponent was really unhappy when they attacked the instruments.
I see. Very nice. So what about your spell and trap lineup? Can you go over that for us?
Spells are pretty standard, I believe. The 1 allowed brain control, your Scapegoat for protection, Pot of Avarice for the recycling and draw, Smash and Ground Nobleman for monster destruction, Heavy Storm and Typhoon for the backfield, Monster Incursion for Future Burial, and 2 soul exchanges to make sure I can get out my tribute materials reliably. As far as the traps go, you have your standard torrential call and mirror force.
Right.
I went with 2 Sakuretsu armors today, which I think is pretty optimal. Widespread Ruin may have been better or worse. It was really in anticipation of Cyber Phoenix that we want to run that. And Cyber Phoenix, surprisingly, I saw almost none of it today. So Sakuretsu worked out well as a more, I can choose my targets. The other 2 are 2 copies of Forceback. The reason for this is that I didn't want to run Pulling the Rug in the main, because while it's generally a safe assumption that people will run Monarchs, you never want to count on a conditional card. Forceback can work on any normal or flip summon, which is something that can't be said about Pulling the Rug. And it also does work in messing up the tempo of an opponent who does try to tribute for a Monarch, and it can even stop Jinzo, as he can send it back to the hand and make them waste their tribute. So they lose a monster, they lose their summon, they have an open field for me to attack into next turn.
I see. Cool, and that worked out for you pretty well today?
Absolutely, very well. Won me several games.
Awesome. So let's go over your side deck and see what choices you picked and for the reason.
Sure. First, some extra copies of Monarchs, a Thirds of Warg, which I've sided in often against those decks that I needed that extra monster destruction in. Again,
Okay.
Apprentice Engine, things like that. The other Mobius is in there in case of any spell trap heavy decks, just in case of a deck like Burn or something that needs more of a backfield.
Right.
That was sided once or twice. Hydra-Get-Ons were really in there to punish the Apprentice Engine. Nothing hurts them more than that. It's one of the best answers you can get. And also, some people were here playing Nimbles today. So it should have worked out okay. Of course, the only times I summoned it ran into Gravekeeper's Spy. But the idea was there.
I see.
We have 2 Des Wombats, again, in case of Burn.
Right.
Because you have to consider the last Shonen was won by a Burn deck.
That's true.
And there are always people that are looking to copy the last Shonen Jump winner. So the Wombats were in there to combat that.
Okay.
In addition to the Royal Decrees,
Right.
the Decrees again were there to shut down Burn, but they're also there to complement the Hydra-Get-On. With a deck that required a lot of the Apprentice Engine and Trap backup, Hydra-Get-On plus Royal Decree would sufficiently take care of their entire field. 2 copies of Lightning Vortex were for any decks that had more aggro monsters than I could handle, such as a very fast Monarch deck, Zombie deck, 6 Samurai, and by the way, Zombie and 6 Samurai both made a big impact here today, which a lot of players are surprised about. They're both pretty popular decks. Lightning Vortex helped a lot against both of them.
I see.
I have an extra Nomen Cross out again against things such as the Apprentice Engine or just any deck that really utilizes a lot of face downs.
Okay.
And then 3 pulling the rugs in the side for Monarchs, which helped tremendously.
I see.
It's pretty standard anti-Monarch tech, and it works quite well.
What was your most common matchup of the day? And
Most common, I saw Zombies once or twice. I actually did play against it. Most was actually either Monarchs or 6 Samurai. Played against a couple different Monarch variants. One was using Apprentice Engine. One was still trying to use the Perfect Circle with the Destiny Heroes and the Stratos. A lot of them were straight Monarchs.
I see. Cool. Well, thanks a lot for sitting down and going over your deck with us.
Absolutely.
Cool. Eric, you want to say your last name?
Rodriguez.
Eric Rodriguez, aka Pun. And we're going to go over his deck that he took to the Fort Lauderdale Regional. Apparently the whole deck is foil, and the whole side deck, except for 2 cards that don't come foil. So you want to go over your deck and tell us some key cards and stuff in the deck?
It's just basically zombie baboon deck. I gotta play the 3 rats, the 3 nimbles, the baboon,
Okay.
the zombie masters, the pyramid turtles, and the elk blood.
Oh, I see. So how did this deck work out for you today? Like
In Orlando, I did X and 2. Today, I played 3 of the mice decks and just lost.
Oh really? Wow. This whole deck was foil. So let's go over your side deck and how you side for some of the more common matches that you had today.
If I side deck against a mirror match, I side deck into my Monarchs.
Okay. And you're
Yeah, I side deck into. If I'm playing against Monarchs, I side deck my rugs.
Okay, I see. And I guess the Dust Tornado there is for burn or
Yeah.
whatever else. Alright. Lightning Vortex Twisters. Why do you have the Twisters in there?
For burn.
For burn too? Okay, what about the 2 Instant Fusion, the only
Fusion?
common cards?
Instant Fusion is for me to bring out Reaper of the Nightmare. I instant fuse for Reaper of the Nightmare.
Okay.
Now I can book a life Reaper of the Nightmare.
Oh, I see. Cool. Cool tech. And how does that play, or how has
Quite
that
good.
play work out for you today?
It's quite good. I mean, if I didn't go X and 3, it would have been better.
Oh, I see. Alright, man, so do you have any other key points or something you want to point out to the deck? What about more of, what is that?
Normally.
Mormar? Yeah. How
Anyone
does that-
plays me against Monarchs, it's gonna break you.
Oh, really? So it's really good against Monarchs? Cool. So is there anything else about the deck that you want to go over? Maybe something we haven't touched on, or?
No, that's basically on everything. Decks work really good. I did really good in Orlando, but today, people in South Florida are better than Orlando.
Alright, well, thanks a lot for sitting down and showing us your deck. Hope you have better luck next time.
In this particular case, it looks like big bucks didn't equal the big win. However, next video, I have a deck that is a bit expensive, but might chalk up a few wins on the W column. My deck. So, stay tuned to my next video where I show you how to play fairies like a man. You heard me.